A thread by RetroGamer_81. So, who is Elena Parent? Seen here during her theatrics in the Georgia hearing. I did some digging last night and will compose my findings and thoughts in this thread. Elena is an attorney turned politician in the city of Atlanta. She first ran for office in 2010 with an impressive outlay of cash from fellow lawyers, lobbying groups, Home Depot, her husband is and was an executive there, and this guy, David Adelman. To be clear, it wasn't a ton of money, but it wasn't most of her contributions. It's just interesting to know what sort of people she's involved with. David Adelman was the U.S. ambassador to Singapore during some of the Obama years, with Singapore emerging as a potential country involved in this sham election. It's a bit concerning. Adelman was also on the news rounds declaring that holding up the Biden Harris transition threatened our national security. From thehill.com, former U.S. ambassador, Biden's lack of access to intel briefings. Parent served from 2011 to 2013, did not seek re-election in 2013, and then reemerged in 2015. Why the break? There was redistricting going on, and her district got combined with that of Scott Holcomb. Guess who made a nice contribution to her campaign in 2015? Scott Holcomb. Now, let's look at where the money came from to get Parent into office. The first thing that struck me as odd is the large sums of cash put up to get her into office in 2010 and then again in 2014. Link in the thread to followthemoney.org. But okay, getting people into office is harder than keeping them there. Where did some of these contributions come from? Pro tip: when trying to find dirty political money, look for consulting firms and real estate agencies. Who is Pirouette? Does the name sound familiar? Clearly, they were showering DNC candidates in the city of Atlanta with cash. Pirouette Strategies was a consulting firm that was set up to handle a variety of city contracts. Okay, so they work with the city and love their DNC. Well, here's where things get ugly. Turns out that Mitzi Bickers was part of Pirouette. Mitzi Bickers used a myriad of bribes and quid pro quos to get Qasim Reed into the mayor's office in 2009 and then took the corruption into overdrive. From AJC.com, figure an Atlanta bribery probe sought to justify income to feds. Quote from the article: from 2012 to 2016, a consulting company tied to Bickers, known as Pirouette Companies or Pirouette Strategies, earned $819,464 working for 34 candidates and 2 ballot initiatives, end quote. They took taxpayer money and used it to bribe, swindle, and harass their way through Atlanta. Someone caught them, and Mitzi resigned and said, "I'm not stopping." Quote, in 2013, Bickers' financial ties to the Pirouette companies came to light, and Bickers resigned her position with the city of Atlanta. After her resignation, Bickers et al. Allegedly continued the bribery scheme, which led to federal charges. From bizjournals.com, feds charge former city of Atlanta official Mitzi Bickers, which ultimately led to an arrest. From justice.gov, former city of Atlanta official indicted on federal bribery, money laundering charges. Does this mean that Elena Parent is a criminal? Not necessarily, but it does shed light on how she became elected and the cronies and corruption she associates with. Summary: this is what buying your way into politics looks like. This is a millionaire in Atlanta, working a job that pays $17,000 a year with direct connections to those that stole millions from honest taxpayers in the city of Atlanta. People of Atlanta, you can do better.